got some pictures that have been damaged with fire, flood, smoke, mold, whatever. What do you do to repair them? What do you do to restore them? What do you do to stop the damage from continuing? Well, in this video, I'm going to talk about some of the ways pictures get damaged and what you can do to repair the pictures. Now, who am I? My name is Mike Patterson. I've been a professional full-time photographer in Southern Alberta, Canada for over 38 years. I also run a full-service photo lab. In that time, I have done so many restorations that I can't even count them. Not even close to being able to figure out how many. And I'm going to share with you some of the things that may damage your photos and how you can stop the damage from continuing and what you can do to get them repaired. Now, like everything in life, what I'm going to tell you is very specific. When I talk about a damp photos can be slightly damp photos can be majorly damp. You're going to have to use your own intelligence to figure out where you fall on that scale. When I'm talking about fire damage, smoke damage, when I'm talking about mold, when I'm talking about a lot of this stuff, it's all relevant into how bad things are. So use your head. Think before acting. And if not sure, find somebody that you can ask. And that's my very first point. Find somebody that you can trust. Don't go to your local drugstore with a photo department. Don't go to your local department store with a photo department. Your local electronics store that has a photo department as well as everything else. You want to look for somebody who has experience with photos, who handles them locally and knows what they're doing. And usually in this day and age, 2023, we're dealing with small mom and pop operations. We're not dealing with any of the chains because most of the chains, the staff they have working there are horrible, and most of the chains send the stuff away. So you want stuff that's handled and looked after locally. So after those words of warning and everything, let's get into it. First thing we're going to talk about, we're going to go on a scale of the easiest things to deal with damaged photos up to the hardest things. And probably the easiest thing to deal with in a damaged photo, and doesn't even require a video of its own, is pictures that are starting to fade. Now, not life or death. A picture starting to fade a little bit today, you don't need to act, you don't need to react, you don't need to cut off everything, don't talk to anybody and go and get it fixed immediately, but you do want to act on it as soon as possible. Find somebody that's capable of restoring the picture. Now, if you want, some of these restores, repairs, improvements can be done if you scan your image at really high res and send it to somebody like me, who is a specialist in doing it. Sometimes, though, you're going to have to take your pictures to them. Sometimes, if you don't have a scanner or the pictures are really damaged, you're going to have to take it to them. But in a fading picture situation, you could quite easily scan it, if you have a really good scanner, at super high res and send it to somebody to get it repaired. Somebody that you've heard about, somebody that you trust. Or you want to take the picture into somebody. What are they going to do? First of all, they're not going to restore the picture you have. It's not worth it. Yes, in years past, what they would do is they would spray something over the photo, do some retouching, spray it again, do some more retouching, spray it again, do some more retouching. And they could restore a photo if you wanted it restored. Honestly, to do that today with photos is not worth it. It's much more cost effective and much more efficient if you digitize the photo, correct it in using a program like Photoshop, and then print it out from there. So a picture is starting to fade, take it to somebody, tell them you want it restored, get a price, see what they're going to do, and go from there. The next thing to deal with, which can also be very minor depending upon how much damage there is to it, but that is a smoke damaged photo or even negatives. Now, when we're talking smoke, we're not talking heat. The next thing I'm going to talk about is heat. The next thing I'm going to talk about is fire. When I'm talking smoke damage, I'm talking there was a picture hanging on your wall, there was a fire in your house or your business, and that picture now has some discoloration on it. Again, you don't need to overreact. It doesn't have to be a phone call at 2 a.m. in the morning to get it fixed. Smoke is not going to destroy the picture that fast. Once the smoke has stopped, the damage has slowed down dramatically. So you don't have to panic right away. So take a breath, relax, find somebody who is able to handle it. Now, what not to do, and this is what takes so long in the video. I see so much online that is just downright wrong, downright misleading, downright lies. So here's some stuff with smoke damaged photos not to do. 1, never wipe a photo. Ever wipe a photo. Photos are done differently. Really old photos can actually have a chalky matte surface on them. If you wipe that, that color actually moves. You can actually destroy the picture by doing that. Newer pictures than that were on a luster or a gloss paper. If they're a photo paper, you may be able to wipe it. You may be able to remove some of that. But generally, when it's smoke damage, it's into the paper too deep for you to do anything with it. So please don't wipe it. Newer pictures done on inkjet printers are even worse, because as soon as you start wiping them, if there's any moisture at all, if there's anything on the surface, you can actually damage the surface, damage the colors. So don't wipe them. Don't wipe them. Number 2, smoke damaged photos. Do not spray anything at them. I've heard people say, spray Febreze at them and it'll stop them. No, it won't. You're spraying a chemical on a picture. Don't do it. I've heard people say, put it outside in the sunshine. The sunshine will. No, it won't. Don't put it in the sunshine. I've heard people say, put it in your freezer. Don't know why that one is, but hey, it doesn't do it. Nothing that you're going to do is going to remove that damage, going to stop the aging of the paper. Even if the color doesn't look too bad. If it's smoked damaged, it's still going to age faster than it would have if it wasn't smoke damaged. So be very, very, very careful. Even if it looks okay, if it's been in smoke, get it copied. May not need restoration, but get it copied. Don't do anything to it. Now, when stuff goes through smoke, generally it dries out really bad. And I see this so often. People have a fire, they bring in a picture, and not only is it smoke damaged, but it's cracked in 6 or 7 pieces. And you ask them how it got cracked, and they say, oh, well, we're taking it out of the frame. Don't take it out of the frame. Don't do anything to it. Do not run your fingernail over top of it. Do not try bending it. Do not do anything. One thing I see online, I don't know where this came from. If you've got smoke damaged photos, put them in your bathroom and turn the shower on so the moisture don't do it. Don't do anything except take it to somebody and get it redone. Now, like I said, if it's one photo, it's small enough, and you have a high quality scanner, you can scan that photo and you can have them or somebody else do the restoration. That's fine, but don't do anything. If they're in albums, be very careful getting them out of the albums. If they're behind glass, be very careful getting behind glass. And when I'm talking smoke damage, usually the smoke hasn't gotten to melt the glass or melt the picture or anything like that. We're just talking the smoke, the smelly stuff, the yellowish stuff, the reddish stuff. That type of stuff is the smoke damage. That's the type of stuff that you want to get repaired, but you're not going to be able to repair it on your pictures. Now, if you're taking it to somebody, be very careful how they digitize it. If they tell you they're sending the pictures through any type of a automatic scanner, anything that's quick, anything that's, well, I'm sorry to say this, cost effective, where they just drop one after the other, when it goes through all the different rollers and stuff like that, when it's dried out, when it's cracking, when it's starting to fall apart, you will have damage to it. You want them to be flat scanned or flat digitized. That's the best way to do it. That's the safest way to do it. So, smoke damage. Let's just recap. You have smoke damage pictures. Find somebody that you trust. Find somebody that is capable of doing it. Take one in, have them do one, talk to them. Make sure they're doing it locally. Make sure that they have the ability to flat scan or flat digitize it. And don't start playing with the pictures. Don't start doing anything to the pictures until you get it in to them. And then you can talk to them without having to destroy the pictures. Now, side note, when I talked earlier about these companies that will do it and send it away, if they're sending any damaged photos away, but if they're sending smoke damaged photos away, I have seen boxes come back of photos that were just sawdust because they shipped them to their lab, that shipped them to another place, that shipped them to another place, and then when they came back, they had been jostled around and everything, and they didn't even get the scans done correctly. And there was more damage to them afterwards than there was before. So be very, very, very careful with that. So until next time, if you've got smoke damaged photos, relax, get them repaired. You'll be happy you did. Once they're repaired, once you're happy with the quality, I suggest getting rid of the originals because they're just going to continue to get worse as time goes on. And then we'll go from there. In the next video, I'm going to talk about fire damaged negatives, prints, artwork, that type of thing. So have a great day. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye now.